I'm Nina McVeigh.
And I'm Susan Beck.
Susan, I would like to talk about heirloom sewing.
Is this something you do by hand?
No, you could, but this is all machine work. I want to talk about making fancy bands.
Okay.
Everybody thinks heirloom sewing is so difficult. Truly, it's just straight and zigzag stitching with the right feet and the right materials. But we are going to create this fancy band which makes the bottom of the skirt, the fancy band here, which makes the top of the dress.
And is that also the background fabric on the pillow here?
Yes, it is. This would be considered a fancy band. Let me show you the type of laces we're going to use. We can use French laces, English laces, or the Swiss embroideries.
These are beautiful.
But these are materials that you are going to find in specialty stores. With the 3 techniques that I want to share with you today, you could create almost any fancy band.
Oh, good.
Those 3 techniques are lace to lace to entredos, and entredos to fabric.
Okay, and would you explain entredos?
Entredos is like a tracking, some people call it railroad tracks, but entredos is what we use as a joining piece.
So it looks like embroidered holes almost.
It is, okay. It is. And we can actually make this on the machine or purchase it. And today we're using a purchase trim. The first technique we're going to do is lace to lace. And I'm simply going to put 2 pieces of lace and butt the edges together. And because I'm using a number 10 edge stitching foot, there's a guide that runs down the center of that foot. The guide actually keeps my lace separate, and then the zigzag stitch I'm using to join them pulls them together.
So you don't have a problem with them overlapping?
Not at all,
okay.
And they lay perfectly flat. The next technique is lace to entredos. I'm going to use that same foot number 10. I'm going to put the entredos on one side of the guide and the lace on the other and stitch them together with a zigzag stitch, set at a certain length so that my needle falls into each hole of the entredos.
So very exact.
It's very exact, but once you get the machine set up, it's easy. Yes. And the next technique is going to be fabric to entredos. This is a 2-part technique. The first part is a seam, and again I'm going to use that same number 10 foot because of the guide and the exactness. So I'm simply seaming the lace to the fabric next to the entredos. I'm going to trim that down, and the next step is going to be finishing that seam, and I'm going to do that with the number 30 3-groove pin tuck foot. And even though it's a pin tucking foot, I'm using it for finishing because it's going to roll my seam and create a very, very finished look.
Good.
And these 3 techniques are used in both of these projects.
It looks so simple.
It is. It really is. For these techniques and others, please visit your local Bernina dealer today.